Yo, yo, yo. What's poppin'? It's Reverse Polarity, episode 26, I think. I'm your boy, HifiVega. We have over here the man who never sleeps, a.k.a. the Salad Man, a.k.a. the Jason Todd of car audio, the man who once said, I had a dream. It was the end of the world. What's up, Dean?
Okay, who's Jason Todd?
He is the Red Hood, the Robin character that is kind of on the edge of good and bad. He like breaks a lot of laws, but he's kind of good. Yeah.
All right, I'll go with that. That's good. Sure, why not? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like he depending on whose eyes you look at, he's either a good guy or a bad guy.
How do you feel about broccoli?
What's more Dean than that?
Yeah,
broccoli.
No shit, right?
Okay, this is weird. I like the broccoli heads. I don't like the broccoli stem.
Oh, 100%. That's not even a question. That wasn't even a question. Stems are disgusting. I don't even like. Dude, when I cut broccoli, it's just like
right. You just cut the stems completely off.
And I look at it and I go,
do it.
I go, what a waste. What a waste.
Right, oh man. We have so much to talk about. I've spent 4 hours watching the Snyder Cut, and dude, the Snyder Cut was freak. Let me get on a side jag first.
Okay.
Knowing how much you hate silence, every time you take a drink, there's a little spot inside of me that just wants to completely quit talking altogether.
Why?
I don't know.
You just want to hear me go.
It's just a little troll. I got a little troll inside of me.
See, I wait for you to talk so I can take a drink.
All right, Snyder Cut.
Okay. And this is like the only night that I actually have a can of anything. I thought about that when I was getting ready for the show. I was like, I never drink any because these are the small cans, and the only thing we have is this
Canadian Dry.
Bold, and then we have A&W root beer. And that's all I have. And I got flavored water things. But it seems like the only night I ever like go, oh shit, I should grab one of these is on Thursday nights. So
next
episode of Boring Life will be Saturday. We're filming it tonight. It's gonna be an Easter show. So I'll just leave it at that. And Haley's not happy about it.
Of course.
So side jag. All right, Snyder Cut. It's got to focus, man. This is 12 volt. We got to focus.
Yeah, we got to focus on Snyder Cut.
If you haven't seen the Snyder Cut and you're willing and you want to see it, we're going to spoil some shit. Okay?
Yeah.
If you saw Justice League,
you pretty much seen it.
You ain't seen shit then yet because it was only like a third of the freaking thing. So the craziest part for me, so like, it's divided into 6 sections, and it's 4x3. The 4x3 pissed me off for about the first hour, and then I forgot all about it because I was just like the story was focusing. I was like, okay.
When they put they put a thing up there letting you know that it's supposed to be 4x3. That was almost someone. I know they had to do it because people would have got confused, and I probably would have too.
Yeah,
but that's so egregious, like just slapping me right in the face. But you do get used to it. You get used to it. So
yeah. So my take was Aquaman they toned down and made him not so douchey, which I thought was wonderful. He was a much better character in this. He was a douchebag in the first one. Yeah. The Flash finally grew a pair of testicles and is a real character now instead of some dumb punk ass kid that was scared of his own shadow.
Yeah.
Cyborg was the whole movie. Like the whole movie was his development as a character and becoming Cyborg. So I mean that to me, when that came out that like the doofus that did the first cut, which I always forget his name, when the kid that played Cyborg said he cut me out of everything. Like that's not the movie that was supposed to happen. Everyone was like, "What the hell?" That is apparent because the whole movie was based on. For me, I thought the whole movie was based on the Flash and Cyborg.
Well, they let you in the original cut. You don't know these characters; they just show up. Yeah. Batman goes on a mission. These characters show up. They're part of the show now.
Right. And with this, you actually, which makes sense because it's like, look, Superman's established and he's dead. So he's,
Right.
I mean, he was barely in the thing. Thank God. We all know who Batman is by this point. I mean, seriously, come on, really? Wonder Woman, we got her. We got her. Aquaman, there again, we've seen his movie, so we know who he is. What more do we need? I mean, it's Jason Momoa. I mean, it's like, what's up, bro? How's it going? Hey, I got a stick. I got a big fork. Woo, rock on, my man. You know, it's like, okay, there's not anything depth there. But the Flash and Cyborg are two characters that they're, you know, we have the new Flash movie coming out at some point in the future. So establishing him as an actual character probably would be a good idea. So we kind of get a feel for who he is other than the scared kid that we got in the first one. So,
and including his dad in there. That wasn't in the first one, was it?
His dad was, but it was there again. It was a very small.
Yeah.
Like you had a part in the middle and that was it. So I think the dad scene was almost the same. There might have been a minute or two more where his dad just kind of really goes in and is like, forget about me. And, you know, this other crap. And you're just like, oh, my heart's you know.
And dude, the first thing that hit me was the Green Lantern. I was like,
you know, there was two of them in the movie.
Wait, yeah.
There was two. There was one that died that you saw die, and there was a dead one in the dream sequence at the end. You know, with the Hall of Justice was kind of buried under the ground. You saw the old cartoon version of it. Superman's kind of rising up above it, and they're kind of panning towards him. Yeah. There's a Green Lantern dead in the forefront.
Oh, I didn't miss.
I totally missed that too. You know, I had to do a deep dive on YouTube because I had to figure out some of the, like, what the hell is all this shit going on?
In that scene, I was like, who's got the firearms?
Oh, Zeus?
Yeah, Zeus and Thor, I guess.
Well, no, it was Zeus because those were the
who was the other guy with the firearms?
That was Hades.
Hades, okay.
So they went back and they showed, because in DC the old gods exist.
Yeah.
So all those characters are real in the DC universe. So they just went back and brought them in. That's why he kept referring to them as, you know, when Steppenwolf, oh, you have the old gods. You know, I like what they did to Steppenwolf. They made him a much like better character, but I love how he still talks way too much. Like
he does.
It's like now you understand, and that was also like he's the dumbass. Like we get to see he's the dumbass. Like
he's like an Austin Powers villain where he tells you his whole plan, and then while he's doing that, you can formulate your plan on how to defeat him.
Yeah. Not only that, but like they all like we get to see Darkseid's whole crew, and the crew's like, see, I told you he was a dumbass.
Yeah,
dumbass. You know, when he got his head whacked off, you know, it was like, and he's walking out, you know, hornless. It's like, oh, and then you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then you're just like, oh, and then Darkseid just squashes him and it steps, and it's like, oh, you just monkey stomped his head and turned him into goo.
You know, I tell you, the Amazon tribe, they're just total badasses, man.
That was a much better sequence this time.
Yeah,
like that whole Thanaskara thing was like. That's so cool. And it's not so, because I felt like, you know, when you saw Wonder Woman, it was like they respected the women. But then when you saw Josh Whedon's version, I was like, all of a sudden they're like, hi, we're all in swimsuits looking sexy. Titties. And you're just like, wait a minute. Like, I saw the other movie that was like made $1 billion, and they like were good with women. You got what happened? And so he kind of went back to that, except for now you really got to see the sentries that were standing there with the clubs, and you're like, holy shit, those are beasts, you know, and they're just like, I will break. Woo-hoo! And you're just going, oh yeah.
That was sweet. Hey, when he's talking about bathing in their fears, like, Amazonians, show them your fear. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, we have no fear. You know, it was like,
and then we haven't touched on, Martian freaking Manhunter.
So when you texted me, I didn't realize
I hadn't seen that part
yet. You know, and so I was like, all right, well, if worst comes to worst, he's either going to catch the first time they show him, or he's going to definitely catch the last time they show him. And after what made when they showed him at the end the best was you just saw the dream sequence, and your head is just like, I can't even follow that. You know, I can't even follow it because it was like Deathstroke was, I'm going to kill Batman. And then Deathstroke's like, hey, I'm your partner. High five, bro. And you're like,
I know. It was like,
wait a minute, what's, huh? Yeah. And then, you know, who's knocking at my door? Who's been ringing the bell? You know, and it's freaking
Martha.
Martian Manhunters floating in the sky, looking all goofy, and you're going,
yeah.
And
you're very insane. Yeah.
Yeah, but Batman's look or Bruce Wayne's look was priceless. At that point, it's like, what, you know, hey, you know, it's like, what are you going to show me now that it's like I just got done like battling whatever the fuck that was, and so now there's this green guy floating 4 feet off of the pavement, knocking on my door, going, "Hey man, I know everything," and I've just made hey, what's up, bro?
The best thing about the Batman stuff was he was almost useless in the fight, which that's how it would really go. I mean, he could kill a couple of the demon, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And
that's what he did. That's all he did. He just shot the bugs.
Yeah, and he brought the team together.
Yeah, he got the team together. He got the team inside. He got the team where they needed to go, and then he just shot bugs. You know, I mean, and that's what more could you hope for?
Yeah, I mean that's what he's meant to do.
You know, and so the other thing I took away from the movie was all the good scenes that were in the original cut weren't Josh Whedon's. Because all the scenes that you liked, like that were memorable, were in the Schneider cut. So you have to assume, like, he's not going to use anything that was Josh Whedon's. It's not like he's going to go, "Oh, it wasn't too bad, I'll keep that." Fuck no, that was never going to happen. And to me, one of the best scenes in the whole movie was when the Flash goes, "So what's your superpower?" And he goes,
"Yeah, I know,
I'm rich." You know, it was like.
That was so good. I put that on Facebook as I was watching. I was like, yes, that's. I mean, it is just it's a legitimate superpower.
Yeah, I mean, but the reality is Bruce Wayne's superpower is his brain.
Right.
You know, he's the smartest guy in the room, and that is one of the things I feel has never, like, this show out of all of them really showed him as the smartest guy in the room, other than Cyborg, because he's a living computer. But that to me is always, because he's the detective. He's the one that's supposed to put all the pieces together and be one step ahead of the bad guys. And I feel like we've never got to see that. We sure as hell didn't get to see it in the 3-part Batman POS that everyone loves. And it's like, oh my God, this is the best Batman ever. It's like, no, it's not. It's daylight. And then they go under a tunnel and it's dark. It's like, everybody missed that. I hated that. I hated that whole Batman trifecta of crap.
Hi everyone, my name is Bane, and I'm here to take over the world, and I'm going to break your back. And then you'll be better by 15 minutes from now.
You know, it's like, what the fuck?
They, I up until this point, like, Iron Man was more fleshed out because they're the same character
for the most part.
For the most part, and Batman's always been cooler. Forever.
Oh yeah,
but he just didn't have, like you said, he was a brute in the Dark Knight.
They always treated him as a brute, lowbrow brute, rich guy.
Right.
And it was like, no, he's a smart. David Banner's another brand. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. That was the best thing in the second one of when the Hulk is like, they're like, you need to pretend like you're. Beat stuff up, and this is when he's the Banner Hulk, and he's beating on the car. Oh, smash! Oh, break things! I'm just going. That is great. It's just like
that's a Dean move right there. That's exactly what a Dean would do in that situation.
Yes. Oh, totally. Really?
I've got us a poll. Let me share it, and it is related. So let me go in here. But before we get into that, let me shout out this TM Taco. Appreciate it, my dude.
Let's get some tacos.
I mean, come on.
Who doesn't love tacos?
Yeah, I mean, crazy people, psychos. Power hog.
Power hog in the house.
Yeah.
All right. What's the best DC character based movie? The Dark Knight. See, everyone loves that movie.
Yeah.
That's what I think of it. Suicide Squad. Yeah, okay, I could. That was really cool. My buddy actually built the pink car that's in that for Joker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he built that. It's a G35. That was the Vadar. Him and the guy who actually they built 3 of them for the movie.
Yeah.
And that's a funny story. Wonder Woman, the original, I liked, but I was the only one that I knew that liked that movie. Everyone else,
that was Haley, like, to me, that was like the best DC movie they had made yet.
And that was my thought. Okay, so I'd taken her to see all of the Marvel movies, so that was her barometer to judge things by. And what annoyed the crap out of her in that movie was the slow motion fight scenes that they would do. It was like action, and you're like, dude, it was like the Matrix was back in like what?
Yeah, that was like what 2004 or something.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
99. I don't know. Haley was like 2. That's all I know. That's the Matrix movie I bought. When the Matrix came out on DVD, I went and bought my first DVD player. Okay, so I went and bought a DVD player, hooked it up to my stereo, and watched the Matrix. It was our day. It was my day to watch Haley because it was like I had like Wednesdays off or some stuff, so she'd hang out with me all day, and she was like this big in one of those little bouncy chairs, that vibrates and stuff. Yeah. And so we just sat there, the 2 of us, and watched the movie together. And that was like, and I just sat there going, the Matrix. I go, bro. I just look at her, and she, you got the little hands, and she'd be squeezing my finger. Like, don't get any better than this, kid. Don't get any better than this.
She just pops up. I know Kung Fu.
Yeah. I know Baby Fu. And you're just like, what the hell? But all right. So the question is, obviously, we had a lot of similar thoughts with the Snyder cut. We'll get back to okay. So what is your thought on this?
So the Dark Knight, like as a movie itself, not represented as a Batman character.
Right.
I like the movie.
I
like the Dark Knight. The first one's okay. The third one I really didn't care for at all.
Third one sucked. Yeah. Like out of all of them, that sucked the most. I guess for me, I thought the first one was okay because I like Liam Neeson. I just didn't really care for where the story went. The second one is I don't know. The second one I just thought was like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And by the third one, it was like, oh, come on, guys. I mean, just because you're putting Anne Hathaway in it, I'll go see it. But I mean, other than that, no.
Yeah. If I was ranking these,
yes,
I would probably rank Suicide Squad last.
Really?
It was a fun movie. The part that got me with Suicide Squad is like when they meet the dude with the fire, the El Diablo or whatever. Well, like they just barely met each other for like 4 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's like ready to die for him.
Right.
I was like, yo, they don't even know each other. But that would be last. I would say I'm going to have to say Dark Knight would be after that. So that would be in 4th place.
Okay.
Shazam would probably be in 3rd place. I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Not a great movie.
No.
And then I would probably say Snyder Cut as number 2 and then Wonder Woman, the 2017 version, as my number 1.
I mean, for me, I'm going to give the Snyder Cut the first go. I really like Suicide Squad because there again, I try to take out a lot of the like. It's a superhero. This guy's going to turn into a big ball. I mean, because the concept of the Suicide Squad is they created their own monster,
right?
So it wasn't like it was an alien that landed like Superman. It was like they created this headache and now they have to go fix it. And it's like, so for me, there's always those movies like that where it's like, oh shit, this just happened. Yeah, but it's your fault. It's your fault. It's 100% your fault. What were you thinking? And then it's like, oh, well, we'll send in these idiots to fix it. There again, your fault.
Yeah.
You gotta, you have to kind of take some of that out of the equation and just appreciate it for the gratuitous stupidity that it is. Like for me, I thought Will Smith's character, like that scene where they give him the guns, best gun guy scene ever. It's like, oh shit, and you're just going,
Yeah, don't give this dude a gun.
Yeah, there's some scenes in movies that you just go like, I love that scene. Like, I love how they handled that. The movie could suck, but that I could just like watch that scene over and over again and just be like, oh. Now if they just put that in the right movie, man, that would be awesome. You know, that's like watching a Jason Statham movie. It's like, man, now if they could just take these scenes and put them in a good movie, he'd be killing it, bro. He'd be killing it, you know, or just stay down. He punched you. Stay down. Don't get back up. Just don't get back up. Let's move the scene along. Yeah. I don't want to fight the same 10 guys for 10 minutes. I got other shit to do.
That's how they got to do it.
Yeah.
Like people hated Will Smith as
Deadshot,
but I actually thought he was
he did a great job.
Yeah.
I thought I was kind of bummed he wasn't coming back because whatever.
And now we got Deathstroke.
Whatever. He was in the Arrow. All right, so the question is this. Yeah, I like Shazam, really. That would kind of be like right there close. It'd be like Batman and Shazam. I would Batman Shazam. Okay. All right, so the real question is, did you like the Schneider cut?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Would you sit through 4 hours of watching it again?
100%.
Okay, so
there's so much I missed. There's so much I missed.
Oh yeah, exactly. So there you go, guys. If you haven't seen the Schneider cut, watch it. Watch it in 6 parts. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, we can't break down 4 hours in 20 minutes for you.
Oh, Vin Diesel's Bloodshot. Stupid fucking movie. Oh, that was right at the beginning of COVID too. Oh my god, that was so stupid.
I don't know that I even watched it.
I paid for it because I was like, I just was dying for a movie, and I was like, that's Vin Diesel. How bad? Well, of course it's gonna suck because I watched that other one where he was like an immortal fucking
like a witch hunter.
Yes, witch hunter.
Oh yeah, he got me on that one.
Yeah. So he got me on that stupid Bloodshot movie. I was like, okay, well, yeah, sure, why not? And then you're just like, I was dumb, dumb.
Got him. That's all it was.
Yeah.
We have car audio. We have car audio stuff.
Car audio. We're at the 20, so let's do some car audio. Sorry guys, thanks for hanging in there. As you guys know, it's BS for the first, so you guys all get comfortable, and now we'll talk about some. We're going to forecast the future of car audio.
Oh, what? Oh man, I've got so many. Oh, let's just start with this.
Okay, go.
Will auto tuning in the kicker key in 10 years be equivalent to what I would say a decent tuner can do?
Probably. So if we look at it like this, Helix has their auto tune feature that they're just starting to roll out. So now with the Helix processor, you can, if the Helix is plugged into the laptop, you can get their USB mic and plug it into the laptop and do a whole circle of life thing. I don't know how well it works yet because I think Jeff just got it, and so we haven't had a chance to play with it yet. And then Audison has had the BitTune for the longest. They've had the BitTune forever, which plugs into the bit processors. And now they have, I believe they have another piece to the puzzle that's adding to that. And then Moscone is working on the headphones. So Moscone has a head that's going to go where the seat is, and it's got 2 microphones in the ears, and you use that. So, yeah, I feel that in the future we'll see that, but there's still a bunch of inherent problems that are going to lay before that in the past. So I think there's a bunch of hurdles we're going to have to get past before we can get there. But I feel if you look at a kicker key, if you take a key lock and a key and combine them together, you have a pretty solid piece. The downside to all of it is that there's no manual control on it.
Right.
Which is fine in a world where everything is perfect, but isn't fine in a world that we actually live in. Like, to me, that's the one thing about that kind of sucks, because I want to get in there and I want to make some more adjustments to it, or I want to turn things up or down. And by locking it like they have, you just don't have the ability to do it. So I feel like that's a great, that's a
V2 waiting in the wings.
Well, I look at that as that's a great start. like as in, so like the other companies that are doing theirs, the price for admission is super high, like super high. Like a BitTune is $1,000, and then and it's like, so they're way the hell up there. Plus the BitTune hasn't been updated since it came out, as far as like the whole, so it's like this is kind of cheesy. So I don't even know if the DSP, like I don't even know if DSP, we've said for years is the future, but we're not anywhere near what that DSP needs to be the future. Like we got a long way to go in DSP before it becomes the future. And the other problem with DSP is most people are stupid when it comes to DSP. And that's not a slam against anybody. Just a lot of people don't want to do the work to figure it out. And that's the problem, is that it's not a magic box, even though they call it the magic box. It is a tool. And if you don't understand the tool, then you can't solve the problem. You could take a dart and you can hit a 20 bullseye and like walk away and like, but the next throw, you're not going to do it. And the next throw, you're not going to do it unless you put in the hours to get that proficient with it. And a DSP is the same thing. And I feel a lot of people have thrown in the towel early on the DSP. And because it takes a lot of time and a lot of understanding to get that shit to work. Because like half of the problem is just understanding what you're putting a DSP in front of. So I was talking to one of my industry guys the other day, and we were laughing because for years we've been trying to get people to buy higher end, high level to low level adapters. So stop buying the P35s, stop buying those little crappy. And so they finally got the message. And so now everyone's buying LC7Is, LC2Is, WaveTechs, and all these better high level to low level adapters. But that's not the solution for their problem. So it's like, you finally get it, but you should have got it 10 years ago when that would have actually helped you. Now, those are obsolete in the regards of most vehicles. That's the wrong tool for the job. So anyways.
Now you need the Pack or the DSR1 or a combination of the two.
Or the Zen A to B or the Mobridge, or, Helix has a couple of their own as well. So those are definitely, and even those are going to be interesting how the future plays out for that. I still don't think the radio is going away. I think the radio is just going to evolve.
The aftermarket radio?
Yeah. I don't think it's going away. I think it's just going to evolve into something. I think what you're going to see happen over the next couple of years is you're going to see products like the Stinger High 10 that are specialty pieces that are going to be made in smaller batches that are one-trick ponies. Like, it's like, here, this radio, if you have this particular car, this is the radio you're going to buy. There might be two to choose from, and that's it. Because we know there has to be an alternative, or it's going to be a black box of some kind. Or there won't even be an aftermarket radio at all, and we won't even be using the factory radio. Like the factory radio will become a non-issue. It's just going to be a volume knob or some form of other integration to where we don't even use the factory radio at all. Because there's going to become a point where radios are going to become so smart that we're not going to be able to integrate into them anymore. So they'll just be like inputs onto they'll be the auxiliary input into our processor or into our add-on touchscreen or into whatever it is, maybe a HUD or something that pops up on the display. There's going to be a point to where that is going to happen, and we're not even going to be using that factory radio anymore. We're going to have a box. It's going to have Bluetooth for phone calls because that's really all we want. And the only thing we're going to keep our factory radio for is, let's say, sensors, like side sensors and backup sensors and stuff like that. And the DSPs will be smart enough to read that trigger and turn over for those, just like sensors.
So you're basically talking about almost being completely outside of the factory system.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that because we know what we know is coming from the factory really sucks big time. Like sucks big time. Like we talked about it this week on on the Monday show when we covered whatever that was. Oh, we covered what did we cover? Anyways, load resistors. So load resistors is kind of like the first real pain in the ass that we're seeing. So between load resistance and ANC, we can kind of see the writing on the wall where they're going with this, and it sucks. And then, talking with some of the engineers I talked to just hammer down the topic of load resistance, when at the end, when I was talking about how there's an amplifier chip out there that is capable of reading the feedback from the speaker and saying, hey, don't play these frequencies, auto EQing real time, and also taking consideration the age of the speaker, the sag of the voice coil, the looseness of the suspension, and the feedback from that, and turning the amplifier down. That
sounds real Apple right there. That's very Apple.
It sounds really sucky.
Yeah.
So, what we're looking at is like, okay, so when you look at like Helix just came out with the new conductor, which is just basically a knob, like JL has the knob. These are going to be the future. The knob is going to be the future. You're not going to use this, so years ago, they had talked about integrating those DRCs, those controllers, into the steering wheel controls, which to me seemed like it made a whole bunch of freaking sense. It's like, that's a great idea. Let's just use this as an aux input. We can use this volume knob. Let's take the steering wheel controls and put them into our DRC, because everyone still wants to keep these. And as long as our cell phone is integrated into our system, see, like Kicker, there again, was ahead of the curve with the Q class, because when you bought that cool little box, it had the Bluetooth phone built into it.
Yeah.
So they were the only ones to ever do that. So we are going, that was too soon. We weren't at that problem yet. And we're not to that problem yet now. However, within the next 5 to 10 years, that problem is going to occur again. And we'll be back up, and we'll have to come out with some way to have, two things going on, that we're not using our infotainment system in the way it's made for. So that ought to be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Well, I had a chance this weekend to listen to a direct system. You know what direct is, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it, man. I was at SQLG this weekend.
Yeah.
So, man, everyone was so busy being judged. I went on the wrong day. I should have been on Sunday, but really? I wanted to hear it, but I didn't get to hear it. So,
it was in a car?
Yeah. It was in a car, had the mini DSP.
Okay.
Had the nice USB audio interface, and then the direct for left and right. Pretty sick.
Yeah. Those guys do crazy shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. That's not even a 1%. That's a 1% of 1%. So, I mean,
right.
you're in order for it to be, it has to be consumer. It's like, you have to make something that's consumer based, and plus too, the other thing I see changing in the future is the cost the cost to play. The average system right now is between 35 and 10 grand. That's just the average price, somewhere in that range. And whoever doesn't, it's like you're not looking at the right shit. You're not playing on the field that is. You're not really getting into car audio. You're just buying some stuff. Okay, you're not competing with the cars. Sure, you might have some loud stuff. You might like it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, to compete on a level the factory is playing on in a modern car, you're going to spend between 35 to 10 grand in order to be better than that stereo, other than just left and right audio really loud. Okay, because yes, you can still do that for cheap, and you'll always be able to do that for cheap. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about with the appropriate equipment installed properly to be better than factory. And that's the key. These factory systems are getting more and more complicated and better. Like we did the 2021 F-150 this week, and that was a phenomenal system. I mean, infinite baffle subwoofer where they cut a hole. Factory is now cutting a hole through the truck to port the woofer out into the area so that they can make a small subwoofer enclosure that puts out a decent amount of bass. It's like, okay,
Well, they use like a periodic membrane on it or something.
It had some kind of weird baffle in front of it. Yeah.
Oh, to keep the
cone in
water
control
out. Yeah.
No, on the back it was just open. It was just two pieces of mesh.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it was just two pieces of mesh. It'll leak right into it if you're splashing around. There's a strip across the bottom to keep water from coming up, but coming down, I guess they're just hoping gravity will just do its thing. I don't know, because like we were like, is this really going out to the back? And I had Fernando put a light in there. And I'm like, yeah, there it is.
Nice.
So what I really hope, so I'm gonna throw one.
Yeah, throw it out there.
I hope the future, the death of the 4-channel amplifier.
Oh,
I pray to God the death of the 4-channel amplifier. The 4-channel amplifier is the one thing that is holding back car audio the most. Okay, because you get a system in a car that is more than 4 channels, and they're active. Like the manufacturer is giving you a 10-channel active stereo, and you're going to go at it with a 4-channel amplifier. Wait, stupid? Like, what are you hoping to achieve with that? It's like I have this 8-channel factory amplifier that's staggered power and actively everything, and it sounds not bad. It's just not loud enough. So you go out and you buy a big 150 watt by 4-channel amplifier, and you want to throw that in there and make it sound better. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work at all. So we need to stop thinking on 4-channel amplifiers, because everyone always shows up with a 4-channel. I got a 4-channel amplifier and a mono block. Yeah, it's gonna be loud. Yeah, okay. It's like, is that the only goal? To be loud? High five. But see, the thing is if the other side of that, like if there's more 8-channel, 9-channel, 7-channel amplifiers out there, that solves a lot of problems for a lot of people. Okay, think of it like this: like the F-150. Technically, it's an 8-channel system: tweeters, mid, rear, center, sub. It's 8 channels. So a 7-channel amplifier put into that car will allow that individual to just whatever they've done from the factory, whatever all pass filters, equalization, silliness they got going on, you can do power for power into that amplifier and retain all that. Just get a louder sound, which 90% of the people that come in go, I want it louder. So it's like the processor is done. Yes, it would be nice to have some EQ, but at the end of the day, if we can just get it louder so that you're happy, a multi-channel amplifier will do that. Where a 4-channel amplifier, it's like, okay, so we got to, okay, good luck.
Well, see, and if you have like an 8-channel, and like me, I just need like a tweeter and a mid bass on each side, left and right, and a sub.
Yeah.
You can do your own staggered power at that point, because you can bridge channels together. So you do get more flexibility like that.
Yes. And when I say the death of a 4-channel, that's implying that the 5-channel amplifier is right there with it. Don't get me wrong. I am the biggest advocate of 5-channel amplifiers. I love putting 5-channel amplifiers. They're they're great. Okay. However, a 7-channel amplifier would be better. Yeah. I'm more saying the death of the 4-channel and the fact that I want amplifiers with more channels to come out. More channels so that we can open up the possibilities, because think about it. If the manufacturer is giving you a fully active system, why would you want to regress to a passive system? But that is what everybody's doing. And everyone's sitting there going, oh, passive sucks, passive sucks, passive sucks. Okay. Yes. In some regards, it does. But everyone's still doing it. So what? Passive sucks. So how do I go active with my 4-channel amp and a monoblock? You can't.
Yeah, you can just on the front channels.
Yeah, it's like
you're not gonna get no rear.
Rear too. What do I got to do for the rear? Where do I hook those up to?
2 more channels, bro.
Yeah, put them in your ears.
So you need, on top of all that, I would say you need DSP in everything.
Yes,
I would like to see some form of DSP in every amp. It can go with very modest in the cheaper amps to very advanced in the more expensive amps.
Agreed. Yeah, we don't need 31 bands. Like audio control is so audio control is in that weird spot Years ago when we were interviewing Chris, he said, I want to design an amplifier not for 20% of the population, but for 80% of the population. And that is how that amplifier came about. That's why that amplifier is so good in so many applications, because it's not the most advanced DSP, but it's not the most basic DSP. So
Right.
it fits a lot of the problems that we have. But that's the problem with it, is it's perfectly in the middle. So, and it's like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's actually too much. And you're like, damn, if it was only like maybe half of that. And then other times it's like, it's not enough. And you're like, God, I wish it had these 10 other features. So, and then if you get a DSP that has those 10 other features, it's like, okay, this doesn't work in everything because I don't, and then, well, just don't use the features you don't want to. Yeah, but I'm paying for them. It's not like you're giving me those for free and I just decide not to use them. It's not how it works. So, it would be cool to see an entry-level amplifier with some basic form of equalization. So like the new Kenwood floating screen radios have a parametric EQ built into them. And it's kind of cool. It has like 2 bands for front, 2 bands for rear, and then like 9 bands of global, 1 band for subwoofer. And it's like, it's amazing how much you can do with that configuration. Like when I had mine in my car and I started playing with it in the parking lot after or before work, and I was just like, I'm just, oh my, it was just like, Jesus Christ, this is freaking awesome. To have a 3-band parametric EQ on each channel. Oh, dude, trust me, most of you guys out there, that would be more EQ than you could ever possibly want in your life. I'll tell you that right now.
The ADPRS, the one thing, I have a love-hate relationship with that unit, but the one thing that I did like is you get left and right EQ. That is so nice in a head unit that not very many of them have.
Yes. No, and actually none of them have it anymore. So there's no left and right. Now. Yeah. And that was the thing. It's like, we know they can do it. Yeah. We know they can do it. And I've talked to these manufacturers and I'm like, listen, we know you can do it. Like there's one in China right now or Japan, or one of them there's a brand that, dude, it's got a full DSP in it. I mean, if you look at a DSR1 is in a box this big. Okay. There's no reason that can't fit inside of a radio. Even if you have to run a separate power to it or a bigger power wire to it, there's no reason that can't be inside of a radio. And even if I still had to plug a laptop into it to get it to work, I don't care. Like basic features you can do, but if you really want to unlock it, you got to plug into the USB and adjust it from there. Oh, damn, that sucks. Eventually we'll be able to do what we want with it. But I mean, and besides, I don't want to play with it on that little 7-inch screen. I don't want to do any of that. I want to plug it into a laptop because I'm going to tune it outside the car, not sitting in the front seat. That's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, the DSP is so cheap. Like GSP technology is pretty cheap right now to get basic. Like you could basically put a Dayton DSP in every entry level amp and only raise the price maybe $100.
No, you're going to spend more than $100 just trying to get the noise out.
Oh, burn. Sick burn.
That thing's a piece of shit. I don't care. I will. That is the most garbage ass DSP. That gives DSP a bad name. Like if that's the first DSP you get and you think you got something, just throw in the towel.
I will tell you that someone placed 3rd in SQLG and Lone Star with a Dayton DSP.
Hey man, look. Listen, man. You need to build something. All you got is a hammer. You figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you need all the best shit in the world, but I can tell you the guy that was in first place didn't have a Dayton in his car.
Oh, if you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby.
Damn straight. And besides, if he took 3rd out of 4, it really don't count.
Oh man, I don't actually know how many there was in that class, and I didn't get to hear the system, but I heard that system was actually really nice sounding.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeff judged it, so you can ask him.
Yeah, I didn't. It's funny we talked today, but we were talking about a different topic. I didn't get a chance to ask him how that went.
Yeah,
did you see him while you were there?
I got the fist bump, but my man, he was so busy, dude. He was judging literally that. Saturday was the worst day for me to be there, but it was the only day I could be there.
Yeah.
Because, everyone was getting their cars judged and, I'm not trying to get in there and get a demo before they get judged or while they're waiting for the judge. So
Yeah, a buddy of mine took third in the 3K. I guess the 3K base off. So,
in Virginia?
No, in Dallas, or I don't know, or USAC.
Yeah,
I don't know where the hell. Yeah, I don't know.
They had the Team Deadly Hurts in Virginia.
Okay.
That Lone Star was in Dallas, and I think USAC might have had something.
I think it was a USAC thing. He won.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was posting all over Facebook. I was like, hey, good for you.
Yeah.
He lives in Texas, so I just assumed it was there.
That could be. Who knows?
I don't know shit, man. All right, so what else we got?
All right, so
pontificate some more.
I'm trying to think what I actually didn't write anything down. So
oh, okay.
we're off the dome here today.
Oh, all right.
But besides DSP, I'd like to see like a lot more efficiency in systems overall.
Well, I agree, and I think we're getting that. I think we're getting that a lot. Okay, so here's the problem, and this is one of those stupid problems. All right, so if you make a speaker efficient, you can make the best sounding speaker in the world that was super efficient. Like you put 15 watts to it and it melts the ears off the side of your head. Yeah. The problem is nobody would buy it. All right. And the reason we know this is because when Kenwood made the last round of Exelon speakers, and that was that gorgeous set of speakers they made that had like that gold, like auto former in the front. It was so ostentatious looking at it. You almost didn't want to use it because it was so much a work of art. Yeah. And it only had a 50-watt power handling. And you'd be like, dude, this speaker sounds amazing. Like, yeah, but it only has 50 watts. That's garbage. Like, what are you talking about? It's got an efficiency through the roof. There's like almost no crossover on it because they've designed it to not need one. They actually just built the speaker better and it uses its natural roll-off points and all this. And they're like, it only has 50 watts. And how
many watts does it do? How many watts does it
do? They had a big truck in Dallas that was loaded up with this thing. Like they had 2 6.5s and each was big F250 loaded this thing up. Dude, you sat in that thing and you're just like, oh my God, this thing sounds amazing. And there was no power in it at all. Because it's like, they're super efficient speakers. It's like, 50 watts, dude. Put 4 5 or 2 5 channels in it and you're done. It's like, I guess that makes sense. So they had to redesign the speaker and make it dumber and slower and heavier, but handles more power. So like, until that becomes a thing where people where they shop with their brain and not with the wattage and kind of get the whole picture, then like Americans are dumb when it comes to buying speakers. There's no question about it. When you talk to the foreigners, they're like, oh yeah, that American stuff. They literally look at us like we're idiots because we just want to buy. Buying speakers by the pound is a normal thing here in the U.S. I mean, we just how many bullets can I put in that? And it's like, dude, you know how efficient those are, right? Those are 170 dBs of efficiency. You better give me 20, and I'm gonna blow every single one of them. How?
It's the you need bullet tweets, you need pro mids, and you need 1,000 watts to each left and right.
Jesus Christ. But okay, so now if you take like a high-end speaker, okay, so you take that $750 to $1,000 speaker and you give it a high efficiency to where it only needs like 100 watts or 70 watts to really get up and dance and sound good, nobody's gonna buy it. Because they're going to be like, or they're going to try to put too much power to it because they're going to be like, man, I need, I got to have power. I can't, it's a $700 set of speakers. I got to have power to move them. It's like, no, man, they're like 96 dBs of efficiency and they handle 70 watts. Like they will literally be making your ears bleed when you turn them up. No, man, that ain't going to work for me. We did that. When we did the Prima system last week in the WRX, there again, that whole system is designed around that concept, meaning they're efficient speakers. It's a small, efficient amplifier, puts out 85 watts. You just build the whole system in that ecosystem. And like you sat in that car and you're just like, oh my God, this is so much sound, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's an amp that's this big, you know, and there's two of them stacked on top of one another, and they fit underneath the seat, and you're just like, holy. But until you hear that and understand it, you will never buy it. You know, we're not gonna buy that because we just can't get on board.
And that's a whole system, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a whole system. Yeah,
yeah. Like, it's speakers, sub, amps.
Yep. 1,000 watt sub amp. So they actually had to build the 1,000 watt Forza sub amp for the US because they couldn't sell the system without it. It's like we have to have 1,000 watts for sub. They had a 500. No one wanted that because it's like, oh no, I'm not spending $1,000 for a highs amp and then only gonna have 500 watts for my subs. What are you, out of your mind? It's like, okay, you know, and like we put an L7T. I'm sorry, just a regular L7Q in there, ported 12, you know, in the factory box, and it was just beating the shit out of this car. But the mids and highs kept up.
Yeah,
it's just like, okay, that's cool. I mean, we turned it into a 6-channel amp, so you know we had nice power going to everything, and everything's super efficient, and it bumped and went loud and made your ears hurt, but yeah, so we can do that now. We just there again. The number one problem, anytime I talk to manufacturers, which is a lot,
is people.
Is people. Unfortunately, it's ever that doesn't want to take the time to learn it and just assumes that it's bad, you know, and not you guys. I mean, you guys are smarter than the average person. That's for sure, because you're here listening to this silly conversation that we have every week. But you know, like I was talking to somebody this week, Tuesday, and we were talking about, you know, I was like, dude, your amps need to have DSPs. Like you need to migrate your DSP in your amplifier. And you're like, are you kidding me? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, dude, like people can't figure out how to use it on its own. We put it into an amplifier. Now we're just going to get amplifiers with DSPs back. And I'm like, yeah, but everyone else is doing it and we all use their stuff. Just migrate it in. He goes, but they're all afraid to, because they're like, listen, I don't.
Warranty returns.
They're too, like, we get this stuff back and there's nothing wrong with it. They just didn't understand it, so they sent it back. You know, one manufacturer I was talking to, I said, hey, what do you guys think? You know, they make a couple amplifiers, nothing crazy. And I was like, so tell me, like, you know, they make really high-end speakers. And I said, so, like, what do you think about a DSP? And he goes, dude, let me tell you what, the DSP that we got, like, is insane. I said, really? He goes, oh yeah, man, it's crazy. I said, well, when are we going to see it? He goes, probably never. And I go, why? He goes, we don't have the tech support for it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, dude, I'd literally have to hire 2 people to answer the phone to talk people through how to use this thing. And I was like, you're kidding. He's like, no. He goes, come on, man. This was a couple of years ago. He goes, come on, man. You know how these people are. They like, most people don't have RTAs. And if they had one, they never use it. You know, we all talk about DD1s and how great they are. And it's like, yeah, they are, but that's why most manufacturers are building that technology into the amplifiers. And I feel in the future, every amplifier is going to have that built into it. Like,
for sure.
The DD1 is just going to become one of those, hey, remember when we used to use DD1s?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was a good time, bro. Like, I mean, if you look at Rockford, the R2 amplifiers have them built in. A version of what they call clean is built into an R2. So now an entry-level amplifier has a method of detecting distortion right from setup. So there's literally no freaking excuse to screw it up. It's right there. Really, it's easier to say the amplifiers that don't have it. So the amplifiers that don't have it are the power series amplifiers, the big T series amplifiers, because Punch has it, Prime has it, Mini T's have it. So they make one line of amplifiers that don't have some form of distortion detecting built into it.
And it's their best one.
Yeah, but nobody buys it because it's 15, 20 years old. So, I mean, like, and that's the other thing, too. It's like, we would love them. Like, we know what the future power series amplifier would be. Like, we know what it would be. They've told us years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. They're like, listen, these are all the things we want to put into this amplifier. I said, oh, fuck, yes. When? He goes, probably never. I'm like, why? He goes, because here's the simple truth. So you look at a BD 2500 or a 2500 BD or whatever the hell it's called. Okay. We can both agree that's a badass amplifier, right? Like when it comes to 25 watt, it's actually about 3,000 watts. When it comes to a 3,000 watt amplifier, if I say, hey, would you like X brand of 3,000 watt amplifier or this Rockford? I don't care what this is over here. You're taking that 3K Rockford because you know that is going to destroy shit. Like that is a freaking marvel of science. The technology in that amplifier is off the chains crazy. The only thing it doesn't have is a distortion detector. But it's like it's one of the most well-built amplifiers. They've been making it for 15 years. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they've done subtle changes, you know, like natural, just evolutionary changes, but it's still a badass amplifier. However, it's like 3 times the amount of money of everyone else's 3K. Right. And since we buy wattage by the pound, there again, you know, we're not paying for weight here. You know, it's the opposite of the speakers. The heavier it is, the cheaper it is, and amplifiers, the lighter it is, the less we'll pay for it. You know, so when you look at like the 3Ks, it's like, oh, how much is that? Ooh, I don't know. That's like $250 for 3,000 watts. Oh, I got to think about that for a minute. You know, but I mean,
when it used to cost $3 a watt.
Yeah, and that's the conversation they're having, and that's the problem they have with that. It's like, look, the only person that wants to buy that amplifier is someone that understands what they're buying. So how many more of these are we going to make if they made the baddest ass version of that amplifier, like what they promised us years ago, and at this point it's probably been like years and years ago, who would buy it? Because you can go buy a 10K whatever freaking name, and you
could probably buy a 30K for the price of that.
Yeah,
that 2,500 right now.
For sure.
Yeah, and that, you know, power's cheap now. Power's cheap now, so there's an expectation that you need to have this much power for this much money.
And I think that's why they've concentrated to go the other way. It's like if you look at their business, they've come out with inexpensive stuff for car. So like you got the R series, which is a really nice amplifier for the money. It's like if you want a brand name, high quality amplifier that's not going to break the bank, boom, there's your amplifier. But even that amplifier gets slack because they'll be like, how much you want for that 1,200? Oh my God, I could buy you know,
what's it like 350 or something too?
It's something stupid like that. Yeah, you're just like, dude, a Punch 45 was $250. It was 90 watts. Yeah. Shit, and it sucked. It was literally like it was the 4 components of an amplifier and a heat sink. It was like it turns on. All right, kick. You know. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing, and this is what I thought was funny, is that all these amplifiers that everyone is raving about right now, like, oh, dude, Korean boards, this board, that board. It's like, listen, okay. The only reason these amplifiers exist is because all these amplifiers before them existed. Like, they're not coming out with anything new. They're just stealing the old tech and putting it in. And, okay, so we were talking about build houses, okay? This is the part that I think is funny. And I'll still steal Mr. Jeff Smith's line. We were in a training for Phoenix Gold, and because we just went to hang out. And someone asked Jeff Smith, because he was telling them all about Phoenix Gold. And they go, hey, do they use Korean boards? Now, these are all industry people, okay? Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, did somebody sneak in here? Like, who was that? And Jeff goes, pardon me? And he goes, do you guys use Korean boards? You know what I mean? And Jeff goes, I'm afraid I don't. We use Phoenix Gold boards. No. Where do you get the boards from? Well, let me explain it like this. We engineer our own boards. We blueprint them. We make them how we want them. And then they're Phoenix Gold boards. So all our amplifiers have Phoenix Gold boards in them. And the guy's like, oh, okay, I see how it's going to be. And I'm like, I'm just like, who the fuck is this idiot? I mean, like, really?
So someone let the I just want to bang admin in there. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was just stupid. I mean, it's like it's a build house, man. You send them a blueprint, they print your shit. Now, if you have where the Korean board probably comes into is like the Chinese pre-made amplifiers versus the Korean pre-made amplifiers. Yeah, the Koreans probably do a better job, apparently. Otherwise, why would this exist? But it's as we know, we're literally just buying off the rack crap, and we could say, oh, well, do you want a different capacitor in there? How much?
Sure.
Yeah, nah. I'll put a burr brown in it, though.
Put the burr brown. That's exactly
put the burr brown in it.
Put the burr brown. Well, you need this other part to make it work. No. How much is that part? 10 cents? Hell no. No.
I mean, how many times has Derek popped the heat sinks off of literally the same board? It's like, this one's blue and that one's red. Or the Bavard or Bavarian or whatever his name is, it has the Derek's amps now over there in
Bearvids.
Bearvids. Yeah. And it's like the same amp. They just put the wrong power supply in it. It's like, what the frick?
Sam is he's British Dean because this sucks. This is a piece of crap.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because if you think about it, it's like, all right, so now we have a Brazilian board that is 100% copied by somebody else. Right. So it's literally board for board the same. Boom. Yeah. It's the same goddamn board. Okay. The difference is the components. So following the logic train here, then Brazilian boards must be better because theirs put out more power than the cheap Chinese board. But if it was a cheap Korean board, which it could possibly be, we don't know. We'd have to read the sticker. It's what goes into it, man.
Yeah. But hey, we'll keep tooting this horn because we've been saying it now for over a year on 12E Talk, and it's just
you don't have
can't change.
You don't have as much excitement as I do.
But before we sign out, I want to show you. Did you have a favorite April Fool's joke today from Cardio Company,
dude?
Did you see this one?
Is it the Arc? No, which one's this?
This is Parts Express. It's the ultimate at-home speaker manufacturing kit.
Oh, okay.
You have 50 pounds of rare earth neodymium, 50 gallons of speaker adhesive, a speaker magnetizer, 10 pounds of raw shredded rubber, 10 pounds bulk, 100 pounds of iron ore.
Okay.
There you go.
That is pretty good. Honestly, we have been so busy today. Actually, we've been so swamped this week. I haven't had a chance to look at any social media. So people were calling me today and they're like, dude, did you see this? I'm like, no, it's like 3:00 and I'm just starting on this car that I was supposed to start on at 9:00 this morning. So no, I haven't seen this. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have to get back to work. Thank you.
I know. Shit. I was embroiled in the Wolfram scandal, which I don't know if it's a scandal or not. I really don't know what's going on.
I don't know anything. Apparently, Arc did a funny one today with the towel. Jeff called me and told me about Arc's one, how awesome that was.
I didn't catch that one. Did they post it on their social media?
Yeah, apparently they went live and everything. So
I must have missed it. I did see this one. This one wasn't bad.
The kicker fan?
Yeah, the kicker air conditioning unit.
Well, it's like John Myers was putting up pictures of his new living room because he's having a house built. And, it's like, and the kicker sub enclosures have gone in. And I'm looking at him going, oh, yeah, they're square. Because I'm like, why are there square holes? Because it was one of those things where I was editing and I just needed to look away for a minute. And I was like, why are there square holes? Yes, definitely El Fuego. Another great episode. Check out The Boring Life of Dean and Haley on YouTube. So
got to do it. Are you guys over 1,000?
Not yet. I don't know.
What the hell, dude? That's gold over there.
I know it is. But like the last 2 weeks, we haven't done anything just because it has just been I don't know what happened, man. It's just been so mind numbing. And like with the renovation repair we had to do in the living room and also the crap. It's just been like we haven't had time to do shit. So I don't know. I'm really hoping to not do anything this Saturday, but I know Sunday, but I don't think it's going to happen.
You hunting Easter eggs with Haley?
Always.
Video?
No, we won't be hunting it. She'll be hunting. We don't film that, but she still hunts Easter eggs even though she's 21 years old. I still have to get up at 4 a.m. and hide Easter eggs for her to find.
Well, dude, hopefully are you putting dropping 20s in there?
And she still lives in the house, bro. Why am I?
No.
She likes Milky Way darks. I buy a bag of Milky Way darks that she probably won't eat, and that's. I was like, we got some Milky Way darks in the candy jar right now. I might just recycle those.
For some old ones that are disgusting.
Yeah. We got some like Rolos and some Reasons, and we'll put some. Be like, hey, look,
I should have sent all them damn banana Laffy Taffies before that.
Yes, she would have totally eaten those. Are you kidding me?
I still got them.
So here's the whole
tube of them.
Well, I'll see you in a month. So in the candy jar, no shit. In the candy jar is all the purples and greens.
Really?
Nobody's touching them.
Dude, the purples are the best.
Oh my god! Because I looked at it before the show because I was like, I'm gonna grab a quick Milky Way, and I'm like, there's all the purples and greens, and I'm like getting them out of the way.
It's like Bizarro World.
Yeah.
For each, if you go to each different house, it's Bizarro World.
Yeah, but we'll both be watching the Snyder Cut. So
yeah, for sure.
Recycled Halloween candy. My daughter.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. No shit, right, dude? I'm so happy she doesn't go trick-or-treating anymore for herself. Like, there's usually a kid she'll go with. It's like she's got friends with little brothers and sisters or kids, and so she still likes to dress up and go. She just doesn't go for the candy, which she never ate the candy anyways. Like, she'd get so excited and get all she'd sort it all out and do all this shit. And like, I'd be like eating a Reese's peanut butter cup, and she'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You're not going to eat this." She's like, "Well, I might." I'm like, "You're not going to eat this. Like we still got candy in there from last year. Okay, you're not going to eat it. Let it go." We didn't.
That's how my kids are. Hey, they get it, and they eat a couple pieces like now. But they haven't been trick or treating in God knows how long now. Yeah. So
no, she's just a big kid. She loves that shit. So Easter morning, she'll get up and we have the cool eggs that like you can do different things with them. So they some stand up, some stick to the wall, some have strings that hang, and we just recycle them every year. So it's like I don't buy full ones anymore. I'm like, I'll just sell I'll have to. And I'm running out of places. I mean, like, we literally, it's like 10 years of finding these eggs. Where else?
Hide them all in that back shelf back there.
Oh no, she knows to look. She'll find them. She'll find. Oh, dude. Although we always manage to lose one. Like, it never fails. We always lose one. And when I was doing the home stereo a couple of weeks ago, I found it. It fell behind the home stereo, and I was like, oh, and I popped it open. There's a Milky Way in there. So she goes, "Are you gonna eat that?" I'm like, "It's chocolate. What's it gonna do? Go bad?" Yeah. No, it'll always just taste like chocolate. It's a Milky Way in a vacuum sealed enclosure. It will be fine.
I can't wait until Disney Day, because we're gonna be like giant. Like, my whole family, basically, my wife's the only people that's gonna be like your size.
Thank you.
She's 5'3".
Oh, so Jesus!
She'll fit in right in with you guys. But my son, he'll probably be taller than me by then. My daughter's 5'10". So
shit. Well, it'll be fun. Hey, yeah, it's funny because most of the time Haley, because Haley's about my height, maybe an inch shorter, and everyone we know is normal height, as it were. So she always like, I'm taller than them. Haha.
Yeah. It'll be some interesting pictures.
All the heads cut off from here. It's HifiVega. Oh, you can't tell? There's no head.
He had the logo on his shirt. Yeah, good enough.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, if you want pictures, so our pass, we can take all the Disney pictures we want.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We just, all you got to do is walk in front of them, like, take our picture. It doesn't cost us anything. And we can just send them anywhere we want. So we can literally we do that for fun. We'll just be like when we're bored and we're like, what do you want to do this trip? Let's just go and get character pictures, which you can't do right now, which totally sucks. But, so we'd literally just go there Sunday and just walk around and take pictures with all the characters. And that's like it. And what'd you guys do this weekend? Oh, we took character pictures. You didn't ride any rides? No. Why not? Because like we've ridden them all many times. We've been a pass holder for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, it's like living by the beach. You go to the beach this weekend? Nope.
No. And guess what? Not going next weekend either. We try to go to the beach at least once a month. Or, I mean, sorry, once every 2 years we'll go to the beach. I'll pick up my new Hulk Hogan shirt from my new Hulkamania shirt, and I'll get an ice cream cone, maybe eat at Hooters on the beach, and then we might walk out to like the actual sand portion of it, and then it's like Chevy Chase. Let's go.
That was good.
That was good. High fives.
All right. What's coming up? What should they be watching for?
Tomorrow is part 200 of whatever car it is we're working on. I know we got one of those. There's one tomorrow, and then there'll be one next week, and that'll be the end of it. So that's cool. With a Tacoma, one of the T trucks, we're finishing that up. And then next week we have an amp review that I am so excited about. It's more nostalgic than anything. So it's going to be kind of like if you caught the one we did on the Ground Zero amplifier. I'm sorry, the Sound Digital amplifier, the little micro Sound Digital amplifier that I got. It's going to be a review like that, but we're not talking about it at all. It's super secret and it's freaking awesome. So I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll get that shot and we'll get that out at the end of next week. So look forward to that. What about you?
I've got a sound device coming up Monday. We're going to have guests from Karma Mobile Audio.
Ooh,
so that'll be fun.
Really?
My buddies, Adam and Phil. So I got to meet up with them at SQology. They have some fantastic sounding cars.
Yeah, cool.
So doing that.
Is that a shop?
It's a company.
Oh, okay.
It's a new company. They just, kind of like a hobbyist turn business. So
okay. Well, you know a lot of guys like that apparently.
Yeah, you got me pegged. You got me pegged with the stereo integrity.
Yeah.
I know HifiVega like it's obscure. Yeah, he'll like it. He'll dig it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that, and I'm working on a ton of videos. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done this weekend. But yeah, besides that, I watched Installer Diaries, and I caught Nando doing something that I do all the time with fast rings.
What's that?
When he cut the fast ring in half.
Oh, yeah.
Each side of I got to impress my wife here.
Oh.
I was seeing that, and I was like, you know what he's fixing to do, right? She's like, no, because he's showing. I was like, he's going to cut it in half. Why do you know that? It's like, well, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah. So. He's because I let him do all that. And
yeah.
It's just, oh, dude, you want to see him get irritated. When a fast ring comes in all screwed up, he'll be like, oh, my God, seriously, dude? Yeah. It's like, how many damn videos we got to do on these things before you guys figure this shit out?
Dude, I'm sure we'd get along great because when he put that fast ring to like just put it up top, like that would be so annoying, dude. I couldn't imagine someone doing that.
Like, we see it all the time because first off, people go, why do you even need that? And it's like, oh, well, technically you don't. But if you wanted to, it's there to kill sound. So if you want to make your doors less buzzy, less vibraty, less everything, there was one car we did recently. I don't remember which one it was, but the area behind the speaker was so big, and he goes, you know what? I got a ton of these plugs. Because not every car can we use them on. Like some cars, it's impossible to use them. He goes, I'm just going to put like 4 plugs behind the speaker. And I go, what? He goes, yeah. Here, look. I was like, okay, that makes total sense. All right, cool. I'm going to go do whatever I was doing. You do you. Sometimes it's like you go look and you go, yeah, okay, I'm going to go back over there.
Yeah. Nando's doing Nando shit again.
Yeah, well, dude, it was just like this week. Oh, dude, let me tell you what. It was just like this week. I know we've gone long. I'm sorry. This week when we were trying to do the door on the F-150, the little logo to cover up the BO system, way too much time was spent on that, trying to figure out how it was like. I wanted it here, he wanted it there, and then he wanted it like this. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, it's not tight enough. And then I had to go back. So I was like, I think I printed out like a dozen of those things before we finally agreed on like, this is the final one. you know, and it was like, and I'm telling him, well, I could do this. And he's like, and he wasn't getting what I was saying. So I did it. And he's like, oh, that looks awesome. And I was like, that's what I was trying to tell you, you know? And he's like, no, because he'll just argue with you. And you're like, no, let me just build one and I'll show you. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm like, because this is what you were asking for. Well, yeah, but I wasn't looking at it like that. And so I was like, oh my God, you know.
It's like when I have the urge to quit talking while you're taking a drink. Same thing.
Not really. I want to be Jack. Right. I'm just going to hit mute.
All right. Well,
all right, thanks, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you tune in same back time next week.